What I do is, it's always the same thing I do, is I start with the text. I think, for me, this is my opinion now. I really have to reiterate this. The number one mistake a lot of people make is they don't start with the text. They start with who they want the character to be. If the text says you are a 51-year-old black woman in 1962 Mississippi with a 6th grade education, then you are a 51-year-old black woman in Mississippi with a 6th grade education. So I always start with the text and I read it over and over again. I listen to all the facts, 51, 6th grade education, maybe a little bit this, that, whatever. And then I listen to everything the characters say about me. Because if there's a point of view of the character and they say, look at Aibileen, she's walking funny and she's on the floor, she's groveling in the dirt, then guess what? I'm groveling in the dirt. So I look, all those are facts. And then I do a bio. And then I always say this, because a lot of actors go, objectives, you need objectives. You need objectives and obstacles and tactics. And I believe all of that. But I first believe that you have to start with a need. Because I think that if you just start with what the character wants without what the character needs to fill themselves up, then it looks too earnest. That there's always a driving need in a human being's life, and that's what makes us go for what we want. You know, if that makes any sense. I use anything that works. That's what I took from Juilliard. Anything that works. You know, I don't think that anyone should dictate to you what your process should be, because you don't know what's going to stimulate a character, open up, you know, the character for you. You know, emotional recall doesn't always work for me. It just doesn't, you know. I've tried it, and it really, you know, thinking about when your dog died when you were 8 years old, to just kind of tap into the loss of a loved one. I've done that on movie sets when I've just been lost, and movie sets are really particularly difficult. And it just hasn't worked. Sometimes it's something physical I have to do for my classical training. And I have to tell you, that works a lot for me. You know, breathing, you know, the whole jumping up and down and rib cage swing, even something like that helps me. And then sometimes just classical, technical stuff helps me. And sometimes it is emotional recall if it's a character that's close to my experience.